Hello children, we start second part of section formula. Section formula I have made a video. So you can see that I have done ICSE question and that. So here once more I'll try to do more non-ICSE questions so that your concept is built. So section formula, here we have seen in class 9 distance formula. What is section formula, children? Here basically what we do, children, there are one line with 2 points whose coordinates are given x1, y1, okay, and b is x2, y2. So a line is there, a line is formed, a line segment better, children, when we have two fixed points and there is a point P in between whose coordinate we have to find. So this I am starting, children, what I call in all my other video concept. Okay, so here I am giving you concept of section formula. So we have a line segment, line is infinite, line segment is finite. We have 2 points A and B and we have to find the coordinate of P. When it is given that P divides, listen carefully, this line in the ratio m is to n. P divides this line in ratio m is to n. Some book says m1, m2, different ways also. There is a different formula also. I use what a general standard book says. So P, this x of this, I'll show you with example. We get m, first one, we multiply, if you want, x with the first one, x2. M x2 plus n x1 by m plus n, the sum of the ratio. This can be 2:1, 3:1. So once more, if you want to find x of this, m x2 plus n x1. Suppose, children, you want to find y of this coordinate of P. So m, same way, y2 plus n y1, this with this, n y1 by m plus n. Okay, next we will see in concept, children. This was concept number 1. Okay, the proof is given in any standard book. I am not going to the proof part, but it's quite easy. Next is what we call a special case midpoint formula. Now, children, don't get confused with midpoint theorem. Class 9 we have done midpoint theorem where we see a line joining midpoint of two sides of a triangle. A line joining midpoint of two sides of a triangle is parallel to third side and half of it. This is midpoint theorem. Two midpoint, when you join, okay, these two are equal in triangle, then this line joining midpoint of two sides is parallel to the third side and half of it. That is midpoint theorem. Class 9 geometry midpoint theorem. But this is midpoint formula, which is a special case of this where m is equal to n. Means this is the midpoint, they are equal. So with very simple calculation, if P is xy, we get the x coordinate as x1 plus x2 by 2 and y1 plus y2 by 2. Okay, so this, if this is midpoint, so it's very easy. We don't use m and n because m and n are equal. Okay, and the last one, children, before I do the sum, is what we call centroid of a triangle. What I am doing is an ICSE syllabus, remember. Okay, so what is a centroid? First thing you have to understand. Centroid is a line joining vertex to midpoint of opposite side. Okay, A, B, C. D is midpoint of BC. A line joining vertex. What is vertex? Where two lines meet. Vertex to midpoint of the other side. So there are 3 medians possible, children, in a triangle. Okay, where they meet, let it be G. Okay, these two are equal and this is equal to this. So once more, in a triangle there are 3 median possible. What is a median? Median is a line joining vertex to midpoint of the opposite side. Where three median meets, three medians what we call are concurrent. Concurrent means they meet at a point. And that point, children, G here is called centroid. So ICSE says that what is the coordinate of centroid or opposite when three coordinates are given. So let x be x1, y1, this be x2, y2, put a small comma in between, and this is x3, y3. Therefore, so this was midpoint formula theorem, children. So don't get confused. This is midpoint theorem, this is midpoint formula. So centroid G, the coordinate, suppose it is xy, is given by, very similar to midpoint formula, x1 plus x2 plus x3. Add all the first coordinate, x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3, you get x of this, and y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3, you get y of this. All the y's you add. Okay, so when we do the sum, we will see this. So remember, coordinate of centroid is x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3. You get this x of this, and y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3 gives you y of this. One thing before I start doing some, children, as a student and as a teacher, I have seen if you use a graph paper, you have learned plotting. So many questions when you plot, you may not have graph paper in exam, but generally you are provided with a graph paper. You can take extra graph sheet or you draw in your copy. You will see if you draw them, many questions in coordinate you can solve when you draw this point what is given in reality in graph paper. Generally we don't use. Ren Descartes, what he did, he amalgamated algebra and geometry. By geometrical figure we get by equations of algebra. But when you draw the points, your understanding, your solving becomes much easier. So with this introduction, with this idea, let us do 4-5 sums to work on this concept. And in my part 3 of the video, part 1 I have done before, you can see I have done ICSE question which I did 2 years back. So you can go to my playlist and check. This is part 2 where I'll do, and then we will move on to next, maybe part 3 where we will do more difficult questions from ML Agrawal's book. Here I start with very first sum on section formula. So ML Agrawal starts with midpoint formula. I am taking one sum from Concise Mathematics. Both the books are good. Generally I follow ML Agrawal. Okay. So here 2 points are given, children. We have to find coordinate of point P. Let it be xy. Coordinate is always in pair, children. Okay, if you have done ordered pair in class 9, you have plotted. So here we do section formula. So P x, if I want to find M. So here what is the ratio, children? See here, 1 is to 2. 1 is to 2. So M x2, so let this be x2 y2, x1 y1, mx2 plus nx1, you don't need bracket in fact, children, m plus n. Once more, m x2 plus n, m x2 plus n x1 by m plus n. So what is m, children? 1. First ratio, 1 is to 2. Means if this is 1, this is 2. x2, see here is 5. n is 2. x2 is 1 by m plus n. 1 plus 2, 3. So I get 7 by 3. So this is the x of it. X coordinate. So first we get 7 by 3. Let us see y coordinate. Y, we find my2 plus ny1 by m plus n. M is 1, y2 is 9, n is 2, y1 is 3 by 1 plus 2. So we get 15 by 3 is 5. So the y coordinate of this is 5. So once more, here we have done simple section formula. Then we will do first sum from ML Agrawal-Wills pre-midpoint formula. M x2 by n x1 by m plus n. This gives us this. And m y2 1 into 9, okay, plus n m y2 n y1 is 3 divided by m plus n. So we get 5. So this is first question, children. Please copy. Then we will go to ML Agrawal's book and solve a couple of good questions before we end this video. So please pause and copy. So we take the next sum from ML Agrawal's book. Question 2, which is ICSE 2022, children. Very latest ICSE question. See here. We are going to solve. In my part 1 video, you will see I have solved till 2019. So this is the question. 2 points are there, A and B. A is minus 3, 9. B is 1 minus 3. P divides it in the ratio 1 is to 3. You will see one word, children, internally. What do you mean by internally, children? Is the point P lies inside. If you see point P lies inside, okay. This is point P. We have to get X and Y. Okay, so if you see nicely, this point P can be outside. 11 and 12, you will see that this point P, this is A, this is B, P can be outside also. This is called externally. I am not going into detail of that. So P is in between A and B, P can be out of AB. This is called externally, and the formula becomes minus, you will see. So I'm not going into that, but just I'm telling you internally. Till class 10 we do, externally we have in 11 and 12. So let's do fast. Px mx1 x2 mx2 m is 1 x2 y2 x1 y1 mx2 plus n x1 by m plus n. N is 3, x1 is minus 3 by m plus n, 1 plus 3 minus 9 by 4, 1 minus 9 by 4 minus 8 by 4. So x is minus 2, children. X is minus 2. Now we try to get y. Py is m y2 plus n y1 by m plus n. So what is m, children? 1. y2 is, see the second coordinate here, minus 3. n is 3. y1 is 9 by m plus n, 1 plus 3. So this is 6. So this is your answer. Coordinate of P is. So at then what you do, children? Right? Because teacher will look for the answer, children. So this at the end you will write, and teacher will see this, right? And this will be a 3-mark question. 1 mark for X, 1 mark for Y maybe, and 1 mark for ordered pair. Okay. Minus 2, 6. So always write the answer at the end. So after this I'll do one midpoint. So section formula, simple question I have explained to. Then one midpoint formula, and then maybe one centroid question I'll do. And then in part 2, children, I will do some harder questions from ML Agrawal's exercise 11. Okay, this is exercise 11 from ML Agrawal's book. Okay. Next we move on to one question on midpoint formula. So see here children, question 1, part 1. Find the coordinate of midpoint. Let P be the midpoint. These two are equal. A is 2 minus 3. This I am doing from ML Agrawal's book, exercise 11. And B is minus 6, 7. Now, we have to find the coordinate of P. So here, as we have seen midpoint formula, not theorem children, that is in class 9. X, Y, together we can get. Right formula, x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2. x1 is 2, first here and first coordinate here. y1 is minus 3, y2 is 7 by 2. So then we get minus 4 by 2. So minus 4 by 2 is minus 2, 4 by 2 is 2. So the coordinate of this is minus 2, 2. In fact, children, if you use a graph paper, plot these 2 points, draw a line joining them and see the midpoint. So this thing will come alive. So you can draw, plot these two, and this you will see when you join them is the midpoint of AB. So with this idea, we get midpoint formula. One last question I'll do on centroid of triangle, maybe ICSE or non-ICSE. So one centroid question I'll do, 1 or 2, and then we will end this video lesson, part 2. So next we move on to 2 questions. So children, this you will see question on centroid nowadays. You will get in MCQ type of question, where like this question, 3 coordinate will be given. So we know centroid is x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3. And y, if you want, y1 plus y2 by y3 by 3. So you will be given 4 choices. So centroid question do used to come, now you will get in MCQ. I'm sure one question will always be there. So with this 2 sum, I'll explain and we will end the part 2 video. Then more difficult sum from ML Agrawal's book I'll do in my part 3. Let us start. So what is the centroid, children? See. So as I have written formula, P I have written, you can take G also. G is x1, gxy I can write, because always coordinate is of 2 point minus 1 plus 1 plus 5. So we get 5 by 3. So add all the x. All the x by 3, all the y, 3 minus 1 plus minus 1 cancels, so 3 by 3 is 1. So first answer is 5 by 3 by 1. So children, you will have 3 choices, suppose, same question. So what is the centroid of triangle? They give you choice 3 by 5, 1. Choice A, choice B will be 1, 5 by 3, choice C 5 by 3, 1, choice D 1, 1. So here you have to choose in MCQ which is the correct. You will see 5 by 3, 1 is correct. This is opposite 1, 5 by 3. So you will say C is right. So now same question what we used to have in traditional type. So it's very easy, children. Add all the first one divided by 3. Add all the second one divided by 3. So we get another last question over here, LC 29, question 29 from exercise 11. Here we have 3 coordinate, but P and Q, 2 coordinates are not given, but we have the centroid. So see what we do here. We take the x1 here, this formula. So centroid is 1, x1 plus x2 is P. Let it be x1, y1. This is x2, y2. So here also I forgot x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, and this will be xy. So same here, this is x3, y3. So before I go, children, to this one more thing I forgot to tell you. When we derive this formula, this ratio, see centroid cuts the median. See my beginning part of the video. But centroid divides the median in the ratio 2:1. You will say this is double the size of this, 2:1. So maybe this is 2 and this is 1. So median divides the centroid divides the median in the ratio 2:1. Therefore we have this formula. So we derive this formula from section formula. 2:1 you can apply. So remember, centroid divides the median in the ratio 2:1. Class 11 and 12 more thing we will have. Once more here, centroid is given 1. So here centroid is given here, children. -5 plus P plus 6 divided by 3. Let us solve for P. So all the first one, children. First one. So this first one is equal to this plus this divided by 3. 3 comes here, 3. Put implies sign. 1 plus P. So P is 3 minus 1, 2. This comes here. So P is 2. In the same way we will solve for Q. So Q, how we will solve? C will take Y minus 1 because Q is here. So Y is Y1 plus Y2 plus minus, you can do plus Y2 plus Y3 by 3. 3 comes here, we get minus 3 is 3 minus 1 plus Q. Minus 3 is 2 plus Q. Q is minus 3 minus 2. So Q is minus 5. So finally we get, children, P as 2 and Q as minus 5. So at the end, please write this very clearly so that teacher will give you the full mark. Once more, this was simple application of centroid. Here centroid we had got. So you can have MCQ type question like this also, or you may have 2-3 mark question. Okay, so 3 mark. In fact, we don't have 2 mark. So P and Q and 1 step in the working you will get. So children, this was the first part 2 of our lesson on section formula. Part 1 I had done 2 years back. You can see that also. I have done a lot of ICSE question. And part 3 we will do more harder sum from ML Agrawal's book on section formula. So kindly pause the video and copy. Then we will see part 3. Thank you, children, for watching this video lesson.